Hello everyone, welcome to the Podcorn. In fact, this week, everyone is a winner because the studio put out its final episode on, don't know what night, Wednesday night maybe?
Wednesday night.
And it was an absolute thrill to watch. So today we just want to chat through the studio, episode by episode, and just give you the lowdown on what was a really great show. Are there going to be spoilers?
Well, let's start off with just a general talk, sort of. We can talk about the whole thing, and then we'll go episode by episode. And it's a show that you should definitely watch. It's really entertaining. If you're into films, and or you just like comedies, you'll enjoy it. I think there's a lot.
I think so.
There's a lot to it.
Could we class it as a satirical comedy?
Yeah, I'd say it's definitely satirical. Like the Kool-Aid movie.
Yeah,
There could have been some coincidences maybe with a certain Minecraft movie releasing recently.
Yeah, with a certain Minecraft movie, definitely. So where can you find it?
It is streaming on Apple TV. That's the only place you can watch it.
So gutted. If you haven't got Apple TV, people, you need to get yourself a free
get that
trial.
7-day free trial. Binge it all.
Binge it all. The studio created by Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
And maybe someone else as well.
Evan Goldberg, I believe.
Okay, but Seth Rogen is the main dude that you probably all know.
Yeah,
What's he been in? My favourite film,
Superbad.
Superbad.
He's the police officer in Superbad. He's also been, the highlight of his career for me was Sausage Party.
No, I've not seen that, but you do reference Sausage Party a lot throughout your life.
So awful. He's done quite a bit, but this is like the first thing I'd say, because he directed it as well.
Yes, okay.
And wrote the whole thing. And the directing of the show is really, really good. It reminds me of Birdman, the one with Michael Keaton, in the sense that it's all a lot of like tracking shots in one takes and like whip panning around to like people, and it just is really frantic and stressful.
It's pretty exhausting to watch,
and there's lots of
isn't
just
it?
long tracking shots of like following people around, but it's really, really well directed, and I just love all the performances, especially how everyone's just like shouting over each other. It just gets so good at some points.
As a summary for those who have finished it and forgotten it already, or those who haven't watched it
2 days
basically,
ago.
2 days ago. Come on, dudes. Seth Rogen plays a guy called Matt Rennick, and he is basically the newly appointed head of Continental Studios. Take from that what you will. And he basically struggles to balance the corporate demands of being the big boss.
Like, it's him wanting to make actual good movies versus what the movies that do well.
Yeah, kind of, but it's not just that, it's also him just wanting to be a cool person.
He's just trying to look cool in front of Martin Scorsese.
He's kind of been promoted into this big job, but he also still wants to be
really
like everyone's
an
favourite
insecure
person.
sort of. He does not have the killer instinct.
No.
Just remembering Succession earlier, it's just like Kendall.
Yes, and some people say it is a little bit like Succession, and
Really?
it's kind of satire, I suppose. All right, let's go episode by episode. I mean, that's a very formulaic way to do it for me, but if that's how you want to take this down, I'm happy to go there.
That works. Episode by episode.
Right.
Episode 1 is the first episode, and the second literally I started watching the show, I was like, oh my god.
This is a
just
show
so
for
good.
me.
Like, it's just this long tracking shot of like the middle of a film, and I think it's Paul Dano they have, who's in like There Will Be Blood, and then it goes to him going to the car to Bryan Cranston, who's the CEO of the company, getting promoted, and Bryan Cranston in this
It's brilliant.
Just hysterical.
So what's the first step called?
The promotion. So it's about him getting his new job
so
as
it's
the
him
studio
getting his first
executive. And the only way he gets the job is if he makes the Kool-Aid movie. And
brilliant.
This might have been my favourite running joke for the whole show. And the whole thing is like, they're like, oh yeah, let's get the auteur director, like Greta Gerwig making the Barbie movie. Let's get Martin Scorsese to make the Kool-Aid movie. Yeah. And Marty does actually make an appearance in this.
He does, which is amazing.
He's just so good he's really funny
I
as well.
actually think the ad for this, which showed Martin Scorsese, was the thing that like made me want to watch it and tell you about it. Because I was like, wow, they managed to get Marty in it.
And he's brilliant in it, because at the end of the episode he wants to make a film about Jonestown.
Yes, yeah.
Which is this massive cult where everyone dies at the end by drinking poisoned Kool-Aid. And so he's like, okay, let's just call the film Kool-Aid. So Martin Scorsese is going to make a film about Jonestown called the Kool-Aid Movie.
And he agrees that.
And he agrees.
With Matt Rennick.
Yeah. But then ultimately the deal just falls through, and Martin Scorsese starts crying.
Yeah, and no big surprise it falls through, because when they realise that actually Kool-Aid would be so insulted by the fact that they were being used in the film in this way. So it's all a big massive mess, and Matt Rennick has to kind of.
And then they find out that it's Martin Scorsese's final film that they've just bought the script to and then haven't made.
And Matt basically has to dump Martin Scorsese.
Yeah.
So an absolutely brilliant classic first ep, which got me totally hooked to it.
And then that second ep, The Wanna.
You know what? I think The Wanna is probably
my favourite
episode.
too, I think.
Yeah.
That's when it peaked.
Yeah.
And
with, who's the lead woman in it? She's out of Past Lives and was also in The Morning Show. She is absolutely brilliant in it. Yeah. And probably, well, there's two classic scenes. One
it's
is
all
where,
one scene. That's the whole thing.
But two classic bits that are brilliant. One where Matt Rennick walks out the toilet while she's still like in the middle of a film scene.
Yeah, they're in the middle of the take, and he walks out, and he's like, "Oh yeah, about that thing we were talking about earlier," and it's like, "Dude, they're in the middle of a fucking take.
We're doing the shoot.
Come on."
And then the second best bit, which I knew was going to happen as soon as he pulled
the
his
second
car
the
up.
episode started, you're like. And he parked his car there, you were like, oh, that's going to block the scene.
Yeah, I
and
just
then
knew
we
it.
waited the whole episode knowing it was going to fail.
Yeah.
Only for that exact thing that we thought was going to happen
It
to
was
happen.
actually...
And it was just agonising.
It was agonising.
to watch. But it's so good.
I'm going to be honest, I found the whole series quite agonising.
Yeah, it is stressful.
It's just
but that
so
episode in
stressful.
particular was like the pinnacle.
Yeah, because we knew he was going to fuck it up right from the beginning, and it was just like...
It's really, really good.
And then we went into the third week.
It was The Note, where they watched the film, which was really good. And then the final 40 minutes...
Ron Howard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the next episode, The Note, is where they're watching one of Ron Howard's films. Brilliant to see Ron Howard. You know, how...
Yeah.
I mean, God, I don't know, someone tell me, what's
how
the deal you do to get all these people? Yeah. Like Apple just like literally throwing so much money at these people. It was absolutely brilliant watching Ron Howard take down Matt Rennick.
And just like start punching him at the end.
Brilliant.
Who wants to remove the plot twist from A Beautiful Mind though? Spoilers for A Beautiful Mind, by the way. If you watch this show without seeing A Beautiful Mind, they do spoil the plot twist of that film. I'm not going to do it.
Okay, so be careful.
But just beware, okay? And they do spoil like literally every other plot twist in the film as well. They go around the table for it. But no, that was a really good episode. I love the idea of like, it's like, no, it's a tribute to his dead cousin.
Yeah, and then no one can say anything.
No one can say it.
Like,
it's just like, oh god. It's sort of like, literally everything that can go wrong in this show goes wrong, and it's just the most perfect sort of like comedy of errors.
And the absolute classic thing is the way that Matt Rennick, passes it from person to person to take responsibility for telling.
He's like, no, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
You do it.
And he's always trying to put it onto someone else, and actually it's like, dude,
you're the studio executive. You should be doing
do your job.
But he just wants to be liked by everyone.
Yeah,
I think
he is that kind of character.
That's just a really well written sort of character.
He plays it perfectly. Right, what came next?
It was the Zac Efron ep, or the Chinatown episode, as I like to call it.
Ah, yes, of course.
Because they're making
your favourite film?
shitty. It's up there. Because they're making a shitty remake of Chinatown in this, and one of the film reels goes missing, and it's this whole sort of like mystery, and like they're following Zac Efron in like the back ends of the film site. It was a fun ep. Overall, I'd say this show starts off really strong, and then it sort of dips down a little bit in the middle as the episodes sort of started to get a bit formulaic in a way, where it's like, oh yeah, we can expect the same sort of style from it. But at the end, it does pick back up with like the final 3 episodes, especially, are really good. And even the casting one was really.
Yeah, and it was nice to see Zac Efron.
Yeah.
I mean, he was good in it, but yeah, it was probably one of my weaker eps personally. So next ep,
The War, which was the one where Quinn. Let's talk about the side characters, by the way, for a second.
Oh yeah, okay.
They're all really fun. So there's the one that's like the cool mum, sort of. She's like the marketing.
Yeah, the PR marketing lady.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfectly cast. Not sure what I've seen her in before, but she's brilliant.
Yeah, she's just really entertaining.
She comes into her own in the final ep when she like tongues, Matt. It's absolutely brilliant.
So funny. Then there's Sal Saperstein.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sal Saperstein.
Thank you, Sal Saperstein.
Oh,
He's brilliant.
I love that. And there's Patty Lee. Catherine O'Hara.
Catherine O'Hara,
From
who is absolutely
Beetlejuice
superb.
and Home Alone.
Yeah.
She's just a really great comedic actress.
Yeah. She's also one of the leads in Schitt's Creek, which you should watch. You might like.
I'll consider it.
I'll add it to my agenda.
But basically, it's just about these two of like this sort of side of characters just screwing each other over for the whole episode.
Yeah. And is that the one with the burrito?
Yeah.
Where basically she throws a burrito at Sal Saperstein and it ends up taking out like a whole scene. In
He
film
throws it
or
at her, and then it like hits a guy on on the cars where they drive around.
Yeah.
And it hits him, and then he drives into the film set, and the whole fucking thing collapses.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's a great
brilliant.
scene.
Yeah.
I mean, everything is just like disasters waiting to happen.
Oh yeah.
Of just people with
It
massive
is a
egos.
comedy of errors.
Basically. Yeah,
in just the sense that
totally.
it all just ends up going wrong, and it's so just funny to watch because none of them are like insanely likable.
That's
I don't know, I feel
very
like
true, actually. I don't think any of them are that likeable.
No, because they're all just sort of like greedy.
They're all just greedy wankers, aren't they?
And like I feel like, especially with Matt Remick, who's like the main character, he's really interesting because he wants so desperately for people to like him, but he just doesn't do his job at all.
No, in actually wanting people to like him, he fails to be a decent boss or a decent head of a company, and that's like, you know, that's kind of his downfall, isn't it?
Yeah.
That he's so obsessed with being the one that everyone likes, more so than he is obsessed with making good, you know, independent film. Actually, in the end, it's just him wanting to be liked that takes over. Especially
in the episode with the doctors.
Yeah, is that the next episode?
That's the next episode.
Okay.
So we flow in quite naturally.
Brilliant. Yeah, this is brilliant. So the next episode was also one of my cheeky favourites. Like it's kind of summed up his character as well. The way he thought he was.
He's with these doctors, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're trying to find a cure for cancer," and he's like, "Oh yeah, I make movies." Meanwhile, he's working on like a diarrhea zombie film with Josh Hutcherson.
Yes.
It's just.
And the doctors are all like.
That's your really important work.
That's your really important work. We're like.
And he's like, but he brings up some good points. To be fair. He's saying you keep people alive, but art is what makes people live. And then he shows them the diarrhea zombie film. Is that art?
But it's not art, no. But I am a big believer that TV and film are essential for, in the same way that Matt says, essential for life. Like, I don't think I'd be here as I am today if I hadn't watched a lot of shit TV and some really good classic films. So I agree with him.
Exactly.
But again,
but I feel like denying that medicine is important.
Yeah, I mean, he's we all know he's in the wrong.
It's just his ego, right? And he's just like, he cannot accept that some other people like do stuff that's, it's just really.
Yeah, he's funny. But then
it brings out all of like the biggest flaws in his characters.
I thought she was a real bitch, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't find her very supportive. And when he had his finger like half bent.
I know, he always falls over in every episode. He just fell over and like
just like literally bent his finger.
He falls over in every episode, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
he definitely fell over in the Wanna because he got stuff all over his shirt.
He's just so bumbling, isn't he?
Like, it's amazing.
He's a great character.
He's so funny. As the sort of like, oh yeah, you know he's falling over. The next episode is casting, where they had to get Ice Cube to be the Kool-Aid Man.
Yes, I remember this episode well.
Then they were worried about it possibly being perceived as racist. It's really good. It was just really funny because basically they were worrying so much about the cast and like, oh, if we cast the entire Kool-Aid family as black and the other family is white, then isn't that racist? And then the director's just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be using AI to replace all the artists in this film.
Yes.
And then at the end, they're like, they've just stuck with the same casting that they did previously. They fired the writers because the writers were worried that they couldn't write a film about black people.
That one guy was like staying in to do it, wasn't he? Yeah.
I mean, it was just like, I'm going to have to use AI though because I can't write a script and also like direct this film. And then at the end, he's announcing the cast. Was it just like a big panel sort of? And then they go, is it true that you're using AI on this film?
And the whole thing
and then the
causes
whole thing,
uproar.
and it's just like they were focusing on the wrong thing.
It's like a massive
the
shit
entire
show,
time.
basically.
I think that it's so good at sort of like setting up, like just in the background, just sort of like inconspicuous, like, oh, by the way, we're doing this, especially in the one with the car, sort of. You know the car's parked there, and you know it's gonna end up going wrong, but you sort of forget about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still surprising
Because we
when
learned
it
about
does
the
happen.
AI quite early on, didn't
Yeah,
we?
he
There
says,
was a comment about
like,
it.
the director goes, oh
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna have to use AI, by the way, I hope you don't mind. And he's like,
like,
oh no,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
fine,
yeah,
it's fine.
fine.
We got a good cast, that's what that matters. It's just really well done in the sense that you can tell what's gonna happen at the very beginning,
Yeah.
but it's always a surprise when
Well,
it
you
happens.
can always, it's a surprise, but you can kind of then look back retrospectively
And go,
and go,
"Oh, yes."
fuck, I knew that was going to come back and haunt him.
The next episode is the Golden Globes, which is probably one of my personal favourites.
Yes, and
Thanks
is that
to
when we first
Sarah
meet Zoe?
Saperstein. Yeah,
Zoe Kravitz? That's the first time we meet her, isn't it?
yeah, and she becomes a pretty big part of the final 3 episodes.
Definitely.
Like she's one of the main characters, I'd say.
And I kind of love the way in this that Sal gets his moment as well. Because I feel like Sal's a bit of an underdog. Like, he probably should have got that promotion. He didn't.
Well, I think mostly that the joke, because one, it's just really funny, and like that everyone starts, because that's the kind of thing that you might see on like an actual award show.
Sal Saperstein!
Yeah, but
thank you.
it's also funny because he's trying to like get a thank in the speech for actually like doing quite a lot for the film.
Yeah.
But then he just like let Adam Scott rest on his couch, and then he sort of becomes a joke. It's so funny because he's getting everything that Matt wanted.
Yeah,
basically.
and you can see like Matt's little face, can't
He's
you?
just
Like
fuming.
dropping a bit. He's fuming. And then there's the classic bit where he tries to get the guy backstage. To
Yeah, he
write
goes
his
backstage
name
and like
into it.
right into the teleprompter and change the teleprompter.
And gets caught.
It's brilliant.
He
Gets caught.
by Zoe
It's so
Kravitz,
funny.
who's like,
He's like, I just
"What
want to get
the-"
this guy, Matt Remick, and then she comes in and he's like, Matt, what are you doing here? And he's like, wait, he was just trying to get his own name in the teleprompter. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's a great ep, and also when it does actually happen for him, he gets his name mentioned.
But then it cuts out
the
and
typical
they play the
Oscar
music over
ceremony
it.
thing. I mean, that's
And
heartbreaking.
they always do that.
Yeah.
Like, especially with like visual effects artists and stuff. Like, for June this year, they went up there and literally had a minute. And then the second guy hadn't even started talking yet when they played him off.
Yeah, I think
Meanwhile,
I watched
Adrian
that
fucking
one.
Brody takes 5 minutes long
Yeah.
to do the just.
Yeah, but Adrian Brody was like, he came up on stage and he was like, "Don't cut me off."
They started.
Don't cut
They
me
started
off. Don't
playing
play
the
the
music, and then he's like, "Don't play the music." And I was like, "Okay, at least it will be like 10 more seconds."
Yeah,
He
yeah.
went for another fucking 2 minutes.
Yeah, he did. He took his time, but I suppose that's what you get when you're a well-known actor.
The final 2 eps, CinemaCon and the presentation. I'm gonna put that as like a 2-part finale.
Are you? Okay.
Because there
It
is
did
a
feel part
to
1,
be
part 2,
continued.
didn't
Yeah,
it?
and both of those eps were really, really, really good. I would have liked the presentation to be a bit longer because it was only 20 minutes. It was the shortest ep of the whole show.
Yeah, you
I
were
just-
disappointed
I was
when
really
it ended
sad
after
because
23
I was like,
minutes.
I want more of just
Yeah.
this show, and I now have to wait another year for season 2.
Well, it has gone to season 2.
It has. There has been a season 2 greenlit, I think.
And I think it's probably worthwhile saying that Catherine O'Hara kind of came into her own a bit in these last 2 eps as well. I mean, she's brilliant, and she's kind of like a sidelined character.
Yeah, well,
she was
she's
doing...
the person who Matt Remick replaced.
Yeah, exactly. So she kind of comes into her own a bit at the end, supporting them, not supporting them, trying to get her revenge on Bryan Cranston's character.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she's absolutely brilliant in it.
And there's the whole thing, but they're going to get bought out by Amazon Prime.
Yes.
Because obviously they've got MGM, and
Yeah.
I think that's quite funny.
And it's great how they play that angle of like, you know, getting taken over by, what is it they call them?
Or like a tech company.
A tech company!
I know. Bryan Cranston in this. Because I only know him from like Breaking Bad, but he's so funny in
He's
this.
a comedic. I mean,
Yeah.
I know him before Breaking Bad from Malcolm in the Middle. And he was always like quite a comedic kind of actor in that.
Yeah,
so...
and he's going to be in the Phoenician Scheme as well.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
Yes,
he's
we
in the
saw
trailer.
it in the ad, yeah. I cannot wait to see the Phoenician Scheme.
Next week.
Next week.
But he was really good in this. Just like, oh my god, that scene where he's like, I'm actually 82.
Yeah. And like,
It's
you
just-
could believe that of Bryan Cranston, to be fair.
What, but he's 82?
He's kind of like, he looks like he's been around the block a bit, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, he's been in quite a lot. It is just a classic way to end off the series in the sense that it's sort of everything going wrong, But in the end, it kind of ends up working for them.
Yeah, because
With
they're all on
the
stage.
sort of
What is it? They're going
movies.
And I love it when Bryan Cranston's moving across the stage like a puppet sort of monster.
My favourite part about the whole thing is that they're stressing out so much about Bryan Cranston's character getting his line right. And then you look at the teleprompter and it's literally, the line is, movies are what bring us together. Yeah. That's what they've been stressing out about him saying the whole time.
He creates it with the whole movies thing anyway. So, yeah, they get what they want in the end.
Yeah, it goes well. And it ends right at the high point. So I said I wanted more, but at the same time it was like just perfect moment to end that scene.
What more
of just him with the light shining down. So yeah, it was a really good show. What are you giving it out of 10?
I'd probably put it up there as an 8 or a 9er,
I think I'd give it like a low 9. I think it's really, really good.
I found it really unique, quite original. I mean, God, we need that, don't we?
Yeah, and I mean, Apple are throwing lots of shit at the wall until it sticks. And this one has actually stuck, I think.
I'm going to argue that a little bit, though. I don't think Apple throw as much shit at the wall as some other streaming services. Most things that I've seen on Apple I've been pretty impressed with, aside from Prime Target with Leo Woodall, but that was a tough one. I only got through like Ep 1 of that and then had to drop it. But yeah, a lot of Apple is pretty highly acclaimed stuff. But this, it was brilliant. What can they do for season 2 though? Is it more of the same?
Well, I think that they can just continue on by just making a satire of Hollywood, because they've got a bunch of just really good characters that they can pretty much do anything with.
And I think they're going to bring them all back.
Definitely,
The PR woman, definitely, I hope they bring her back.
Yeah.
Sal and his, the other sidekick woman. Bring them both back.
They have to bring back all the main characters, I think.
I think what will really make this is getting more celebrities and
guest stars,
more guest stars. We'll see it.
I want to see like Tarantino in this, or like
that'd be
just
awesome.
like more sort of.
Yeah, who else? Tarantino would be great.
Yeah.
Maybe like a cameo from Tom Cruise or something.
Yeah, I can see Tom Cruise. They got Zac Efron. But yeah, there's just so much room for comedy with the characters and getting guest stars.
They've just got to keep it sharp.
Keep it sharp, keep it simple, yeah.
Yep.
I'm giving this one a low 9, yeah. I think I've already said that.
Low 9?
Yeah.
Nice. Would you ever give anything a 10? A TV series?
Twin Peaks is a 10.
Okay. Yep, Twin Peaks. You could do like a 4-hour podcast on Twin Peaks, couldn't you?
And I still wouldn't scratch the surface.
I'd literally have nothing to say because all I know is the theme music
you haven't watched it.
I haven't watched it, and all I know is that I sometimes have to be there to support you after a tough ep.
After an ep where
it's all been too emotional for you and you need a hug.
After the ending. Alright, Twin Peaks aside, the studio, very, very good. Next week, what are we going to be talking about?
I haven't got a clue. I mean, you're going away to France now for a week, so I'm going to miss you. So I think we're just going to have to see what comes up. What I'm telling you is that the cinema is about to get shit hot.
Next week, the new Wes Anderson film releases.
So we've got the Phoenician Scheme.
So that's probably...
in prep,
yeah,
we went to see the Royal Tenenbaums
on
Sunday
Royal
night,
Tenenbaums
which is brilliant.
Amazing.
So really looking forward to the Phoenician Scheme coming out. What else?
Mission
Impossible, the Cheeky Salt, whatever it's called.
The Salt Path.
The Salt Path with Gillian Anderson and whoever Isaacs.
The other person.
I quite fancy that. So I think there's a good few things coming up. So, watch this space. It's probably worth saying as well, if you're enjoying the Podcorn, like, subscribe, leave us a review if you can, because it helps us get known by the algorithm.
Well, the algorithm that was, in case you misheard.
Have great weeks, and we will see you on the Podcorn next week.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.